Hey everybody, Zach Fernandez92 here with my top 10 favorite games of 2017. Now this is just my personal list. 2017 was a great year for video games. I mean, great year. There was a lot of good games, and since I can only do 10, there were some that I have not tried, some that I want to try, and some I had to leave out of the list, but I'll make like an honorable mentions once I reach to like my top 3. But anyway, starting off my list is Snipper Clips. Snipper Clips was a launch title for the Switch that my nephew and I tried out once I got the system and I got the demo. Loved it ever since. I didn't get the game until Christmas of this year, 2017. But it was totally worth the wait because they released a physical copy, and this came with all the DLC also that released later on. I did an unboxing if you ever wanted to see that. Definitely recommend it. It's only $30 for the physical copy. I believe I think it might be around the same price on the eShop. But it's always better to get a physical copy because you can feel the game. But such a great game. Very creative game. It's about these two paper-like creatures who can snip your partner, so you can solve puzzles, create shapes, and all that kind of stuff. And I love the expressions that the characters make. Been watching a lot of this game's gameplay from Peanut Butter Gamer and Space Hamster, also known as PB and Jeff. Definitely recommend watching their videos about this game. It's absolutely hilarious. Oh yeah. So let's see. Next game is a digital game. It never released physically. I wanted to get it when it first launched on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in early 2017, but I waited to see if they would ever make a physical copy of a Nintendo version. Since they canceled the Wii U version, which is very disappointing, I did wait until they finally got the Switch version released, and I also waited until I got the money. And for Christmas I got a gift card, so I might as well get it, right? It's going to be for a very underrated game. Ukulele. Now, Ukulele is the same kind of gameplay as Banjo-Kazooie from the creators of Rare. They left Rare so that way they can make Playtonics and made the spiritual successor to this game, to that game franchise. And I really like Ukulele. Visually looks good. I really like the characters, and I really like this game. Something about it just is so much fun to play. And the only thing I didn't like is that, yeah, sometimes the world can be a tad barren, but it's nothing too terrible like people say it is. And there is some small frame rate drops, but it is so small. It seems like they fixed it with this version of the game. And that, what was it? The camera can sometimes go a little crazy, but nothing terrible. Anyway, let's set you guys back down, and I forgot to fix the zoom. There we go. And next up on my list, oh man, this was a tough one, like really tough. That was number 9. I forgot to count down. Number 10 was Snipper Clips. Number 9 was Ukulele. Next up would be a game that was good and still is good. There's a lot of things personally that I didn't like from this game, but nothing could top my favorite in the franchise. So don't hate me because I put it this low on the list. But at least it's on the list. It's going to be for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch. And what's cool is that the one I got, which was the special edition, it came with the carrying case. Like, I use this thing all the time. This came with it. I use it all the time, and I even have all my games inside it right now. But yeah, what's cool is that this case is actually slightly different than the one that they normally sell in store. The back of it shows a guardian instead of the back of the box of what it'd be for the special edition and a standard edition. Well, I think that's pretty neat that they did that. The reason why it's this low is because it didn't impress me as much as other people. My favorite Zelda game is always going to be Wind Waker. Breath of the Wild's, it's on the list, I guess, of my top 5 favorite Zelda games. But, you know what, that's actually a good idea for some other day. But anyway, Breath of the Wild visually looks great, gameplay is amazing, and the storyline is really good. There's just some things in it that I think could have been better. I'm not saying that this game is junk at all. No, I'm not saying that. It's a good game, just not my favorite. Next up, after that, would be... man, it's so difficult. Next up is for a game that is so severely underrated. I mean, it's so underrated. I don't see how this game has such bad reviews. I think it looks great, plays fantastic, and it's so far I'm probably halfway through. I didn't even actually get to see how far I was online. I'm not sure how many stages there are, but it seems like it's going to be a fairly long game. It's not going to be like probably like Sonic Colors long. It's probably more like a Sonic Generations long. But what I just said, you can probably guess what number. What was it? 10, 9, 8. Number 7 is on my list. Oh, wait, was it 7? Time out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Number 7. Sonic Forces for the Nintendo Switch. I wanted to get this originally on PS4, but when they said that there's going to be a Switch version, I immediately wanted to get that version instead. Portable-wise is the reason why. I really like Sonic Forces. It is a very, very underrated game. Yeah, it's somewhat easy so far, but I still enjoy it. I don't care if it's easy. I don't care if it's hard. As long as it's fun to me. And you know that the frame rate is at least consistent. I don't mind games at all under 30 frames. 30 frames or higher is good. Under 30 frames is when it will interrupt the game because it will slow down. I haven't had any issues yet with that in this game, but absolutely adore this game. This actually might be one of my favorite Sonic games now. My favorites are, other than Forces, are Colors, Generations, Unleashed, Sonic Black Knight I actually do like, Sonic Rush, I'd say probably Sonic Advance 1 or 2. I don't remember much of 3. And then also Sonic & Knuckles is also another great one. And then another one will be on my list, so I'm not going to say its name. Anyway, great game, give it a try. I think they dropped the price too recently. Now, let's see. Next up is Splatoon for number 6. Splatoon 2 is pretty much the almost identical to the original game, but they've added a lot new features, a lot more modes, new weapons, new story. There's a lot of differences, and I haven't really even got to try Salmon Run yet. I want to try it, but it's never open, it feels like to me. Whenever I actually put in the game, because I haven't played it very much since I got it. But I need to, because its story mode is a lot longer, not longer, sorry, harder than the original Splatoon. Because the first one, I absolutely adore Splatoon 1. Splatoon 1 was amazing. Its difficulty for the campaign was most likely, I don't know how to say this. It's extremely easy, but it's super fun and creative. They've done the same thing here, but much, much, much harder. I'm honestly kind of stuck on it right now. I think I'm like world 4 or 5. Can't remember how many worlds there are altogether in total. But if you don't have Splatoon 2, get it. If you don't have Splatoon 1, get a Wii U, buy it. Splatoon 2 is amazing. Alright. Now, number 5. Okay, yeah, number 5. ARMS. ARMS is a new IP from Nintendo that released in May of 2017. I had it since launch, and I've been enjoying it ever since. I was kind of scared at first when when the test fire came out, because I was kind of nervous if I was going to do terrible, if I was going to be one of those kind of like fighting games where I could never get the hang of the controls like I would with Tekken or Street Fighter. I can't get the hang of those games' controls at all. But no, this is completely opposite. It is absolutely addictive. And it's sad to say that they stopped adding more characters just recently. The newest character is Dr. Coyle. Is it Dr. Coyle? Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really tried much of her. So far, she's an okay character. She's not my favorite. But they've added at least 4 or 5 new characters, a couple modes, and it's just a fantastic overall game. The controls are great, honestly. I hope they make a sequel to this game. I wonder if that's why they stopped making extra content for it. But if you don't have ARMS, it's not dead. It's still going on. The online is still thriving and has a lot of replay value. I have completed the story mode with every character that I remember from at least level 4 or so. I think I've tried 9 before. I think I might have done it with one character, but man, it was hard. This game can be extremely difficult. If you just keep on practicing though, you can get the hang of it and pretty much have fun like crazy. I think the only thing I don't like is like when you're doing like a tag battle is that you're tethered together. I don't like that. I kind of like the freedom of moving around and attacking your enemy. At least the upside is that when someone tries to grab your partner, you can interrupt their grab attack, and so in that way you don't get tossed with them if they use a grab against you. This game is amazing. I think my mains are probably Springtron, Ninjara. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? The Cobra character. Is it Cobra Kid or Kid Cobra? Is it Kid Cobra? Him. I also like. I do kind of like Helix. What was it? Oh, Min Min's pretty awesome, and I do also like Lola Pop. And I also do like Brax Mass. If is that right? Yeah. Great game. If you don't have it, get it. You'll enjoy it. Next up is, oh, here we go. For number 4, it's a digital game only, unfortunately. I wish it was a physical game. They have made like a limited edition of it, but I could not afford it. It's like $100. I wanted it, but I could not afford it. It's going to be Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is probably one of the most creative Sonic games, other than Forces, that I've played in recent years, since at least Generations. I do like Sonic Lost World a lot, and I actually like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric with its even with its flaws. It's not as bad as what people said it is. Anyway, Sonic Mania is only $20. You can get it on either the Switch, the Xbox One, or the PlayStation 4. It is created by, what was it? I think it was like Christian Whitehead and Headcanon, I think it was. But it's such a great creative game. It looks great, plays great. I don't remember doing too much with the multiplayer mode on this. But man, this game is hard. It is not easy. Like the first few stages, not too bad. But I think it's when I get into like this like tar stage. I don't remember what it was called, but I'm stuck on that stage and I'm getting close to the end. But I'm really liking what I'm playing so far. If you don't have Sonic Mania, then what are you doing? Watching my video? Because you want to grab that game and play it. Trust me, it's absolutely amazing. And then, before I get to my top 3, I'm going to give you my honorable mentions. Number 1, honorable mentions of the 2, Fire Emblem Warriors. Now, I'm not a big fan of Fire Emblem in the franchise at all. I like using the characters in Super Smash, and I know the history of Fire Emblem, so I don't really need like a history lesson about this franchise. I know about it. I've watched a lot of videos on it. It's just not my kind of gameplay. This is technically my first Fire Emblem game, and it's absolutely addicting. I really like it. I know it's from the same creators of Dynasty Warriors and Hyrule Warriors, but personally I think Hyrule Warriors is the better game, but this is still a really good game to have in your collection for the Switch. There's some things in there in this game I don't like, but minus those few things, it's a really great game, but it just didn't make quite the cut for my top 10 list. Another game that didn't quite get on my list was a game that I wish was better. It's very same to its original versions. I've watched a lot of videos like talking about how much they are different, and I can see and definitely experience how they are different, but there's still too much similarities between them that it's not as good as I was wanting it to be. Pokemon Ultra Sun is not on my top 10 list, but is at least in my honorable mentions for quite a few reasons. Obviously there's a lot of Pokemon that you can obtain in these games that weren't in the original Sun and Moon that I'm really liking. Like you can find like Zorua. I think they've also buffed up my favorite starter in this generation, which was Litten. I really love the box art. I really love it. Solgaleo, or is it Necrozma? It looks more like just Necrozma on top of Solgaleo. I know it's pronounced Solgaleo, but I prefer Leo because it makes more sense with lion, Leo. Anyway, he looks more like a Zoid. He looks more like Liger Zero, just with armor on. Kind of like, what was it, Jaeger, Panzer? One of those forms. But if you know Zoids, you'll understand why this looks very similar to... You know what, actually I got a Zoids game I can show you. He looks very similar to Liger Zero from the Zoids series. And I like that. Lions are my favorite animal, so when I first seen the original Sun version, I was going all crazy for that, and I loved that game. But there were some things also with Sun and Moon that didn't sit right with me. But in that year, it did make my list. This year, well, in 2017, it did not. Still a good game. There was a lot of amazing new Ultra Beasts that were introduced. Like, I really like Adhesive, and I'm going to try shiny hunting him once I ever get close to him. His shiny is amazing. I cannot wait to start shiny hunting that. Oh, shiny hunting is a lot of work. But anyway, I cannot wait now for a Pokemon on the Switch. I'm hoping a Diamond and Pearl remake. No new generation, not yet. It's way too soon. Please, please make Diamond and Pearl's remake, Game Freak. Let's hope that's the game that you're making on the Switch. But not overhead view anymore. I want a third-person view. Do you know how awesome that would be to have a third-person view? Not like Coliseum or XD because it's still overhead. And not like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because they're still over the head as well, just with more angles at times to make it look nice. But with the second stick, they can have a camera control for the right stick on the Switch. Like, they can use this controller. Use it, please. I want more with what you can do with this game. Bring the sneak ability back from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and then also bring in the ability to find Pokemon just roaming around, and then sneak up onto them and then to start the battle. And you don't have to actually have that transition to come into the grass. You could just see your Pokemon trainers bring up their Pokeball, tossing it. Oh, man, they can do so much with the Pokemon series on the Switch. Anyway, getting distracted. Out of that, I'm going to show you my top 3 games. It's probably going to be obvious what my number 1 is going to be, but number 3 is going to be Metroid: Samus Returns for the Nintendo 3DS. This game is absolutely fantastic. If you have not gotten this game, and you're at least remotely interested in Metroid, get this game. It is absolutely astounding. It looks fantastic on the 3DS. Plays great. I love the 360-degree angle. I've just beaten the boss, and it took me a couple weeks actually, to beat it, just because I'm in the middle of shiny hunting and Pokemon, so I kind of switched between the two. But anyway, when it comes to facing that boss, it was hard. But once I figured out its tricks, it didn't take too much longer until I finally beat it. But it's so rewarding to defeat all the bosses, collect all the collectibles, and this is a game I kind of want 100%. I'm getting pretty close to the end, I'm pretty sure. But if you don't have this game, grab it before the 3DS's life is out completely. Anyway, my second favorite video game of 2017 is a game that I have beaten. Not 100%, but I have beaten at least the story mode of the game. Or should I say, games. Because Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is my second favorite game of 2017, and boy was it hard to decide between this and my number 1. Visually, this game looks fantastic. The controls are absolutely amazing. I have no issues with the controls like some people have. Because I grew up with, which one is it? Here, I think? Yeah, Warped. Warped is my favorite Crash game of all time, and this one is just fantastic. All 3 games. I think I've beaten Warped first, then the original, then Crash 2 on this. If you don't have this game, why? You're missing out on such a fantastic game. What was it? What was it? I think it was like when I was watching Catacris, he even got. I was kind of scared because when he said he wasn't looking forward to this remaster, I was kind of scared that he wouldn't like it. So when I played it, I think Vicarious Visions did a fantastic job of this game. Some control issues on the small spots in the games, but nothing terrible at all. But please, give this game a shot. It's only $30 now. They dropped the price by $10. Worth it. Every part of it. Love this game. Anyway, last but not least, Super Mario Odyssey. This is probably one of the best games I have played in so long. I did not expect this to actually beat my #1 Mario game of all time, which was Galaxy 2 at the time. Now it's #2. And Odyssey is now my new favorites. I still haven't collected all the moons. I have only like 570 something moons, or 580 something. So many moons to go still. But I absolutely adore this game. I love all the 64 references. And I'm not going to spoil too much more of this game, but grab it if you don't have it, which I'm kind of surprised if you didn't. But tell me in the comments below what you guys and girls think of this video, and what you think of my top 10 list. What is your favorite game of 2017 and why? Because I'm looking forward to a lot of 2018 with Kirby, hopefully Metroid, hopefully Pokemon. And one other thing, Nintendo, do not port Smash 4. Don't port Smash 4 for the Wii U on a Switch. I'm seeing too many ports from it, and I'm getting kind of upset that people were kind of complaining that these games aren't coming to the Switch. In a way, it's kind of their fault for not buying the system when it was out, and they had so many games on it, so many great games. I still love my Wii U. My Wii U is still my #1 favorite console of all time, but I love the Switch a lot. But anyway, that's all I had to say. Give me your list. See you guys next time. God bless.